Hey there everybody. I am on day 22 of the 30-day art challenge, and the challenge today is to paint a piece that has inspired you by another artist. So I'm always saving photos of beautiful artwork on my phone, on my computer, and I never really know who the artists are because I just save the pictures, so I don't look at the names, or it doesn't save the names of the people. It usually has numbers and different things like that, and I don't have the time to go through and try to resave it, the name and all. So I just keep photos of beautiful artwork that is very inspiring to me, and I have a piece that is a little bit more on the abstract side, which I really enjoy because I'm actually embracing abstract art more than I used to. I was a realistic painter only, and I have just become more and more in love with abstract art, especially through fluid art. So very quickly, I am going to pour on an 18 by 24 black canvas. I bought it at Michael's, black already, and I'm going to put a wet layer of black, which is in my thing here, and this is 50/50 Artist Loft Flow Acrylic Black with Owatrol and a little water. So here is the Owatrol Easy Flow, which is water-based paint conditioner. It's a European company, and it's very comparable to Floetrol. It's pretty much the same thing. I actually like Owatrol better. There's less fluggers in it. Fluggers. And it's very self-leveling. It dries super smooth with a little bit of a sheen to it, and I just really am impressed with the quality of it. It is harder to find. You can only get it on Amazon or from Owatrol's website. It is a European company, but that opens that up for people in those areas that can purchase this there where they can't get Floetrol. So I use this because Owatrol graciously sends me samples to use, and I am adding 1:1 ratio today with multiple colors from Arteza, and Arteza only comes in paint sets. It does not come in individual colors, but I do have in my Amazon recommendations, I have the link to the different paint set sizes. The 60 piece set, they're 0.74 ounce tubes, and I've actually used them multiple times for different pours. But you only need a little tiny bit. These are 3-ounce cups, and you can tell I have about 1.5 ounces of paint in this cup. So I am using probably less than 1/2 ounce in each of these cups, and then I put another 1 part paint to 1 part Owatrol. And I did not want any water in it this time. It's on the thicker side, but I don't want any water because I'm not looking for a lot of cells, basically. I want this to be abstract, and if there's a few cells, that's fine, but I don't really expect any. And I'm going to use my white, which is Artist Loft Flow Acrylic White mixed with Owatrol 50/50. I'm going to use that in a squeeze bottle for some accents, but I wanted kind of a rainbow of colors. And very quickly, it's violet mixed with Mauve Pale, and then a hint of white to that to make it show up because it's like really dark, kind of like dioxazine purple. Then this one is Ultramarine Blue with a little bit of white added to that. This is Cerulean Blue. That's a hard one to say. This one is Phthalo Green. This one is Yellow Green. And I'm stacking these up as I go so I can get them off the table. This is Mauve Pale. This one is orange yellow. This one is crimson red with a touch of white. This one was light magenta, a little bit of pink and a little bit of neon pink in this to get that color. And when you mix or stir, sometimes you do have bubbles, so you can always kind of tap your color cups down on the table and that will release some bubbles. It's not going to release them all. You could even just very quickly use a heat gun to get rid of the bubbles. I have a Wilton cake icing fondant smoothing spreader thing that I saw Nikki use on her channel, and it works very, very well to smoothly spread your paint onto your canvas. So I'm going to use that. Again, this is an 18 by 24 canvas. So I basically just want a thin skim coat of black. I don't want a lot. This tool works really, really well. It's like a smaller version of the pull trowel that I also use for larger swipes. I would not try to swipe with this because it's rounded. Now if I wanted to do a curved swipe out where I maybe wanted a curved edge, this would work well. But for my larger swipes, I would still use my pull trowel. That pull trowel has been well worth the $25 I spent on it. And it lasts forever because it's made, the pull trowel has like an acrylic blade, not a metal blade, and it will last a long, long time. Make sure you get your corners, even though I don't really expect to go much off the sides of the canvas, but I am going to make sure I have paint on the sides of my canvas. So I'm just going to go around with my fingers and make sure there is some wet paint, but that will dry very quickly. And then the good part is you can always go back when your paint is dry and add more of this paint in the black areas where you need it, where maybe you didn't get down, because this color is going to be darker than the color that is the pre-bought black part of your canvas. So putting this away, I'm going to rinse this tool off because I don't think I'm going to use it, but just in case I do, I want it to be nice and clean. The other thing I'm going to do is hit it with the heat gun very quickly. that just releases the air bubbles that are on the surface, and then you have a less bubbly piece to start with. So this one is going to be on the abstract range because this was supposed to be an inspiration piece that I had seen that inspired me, and I loved the style of it. It kind of looks like colors are splashing against each other, and it's a rainbow kind of effect, a rainbow of colors, which is why I mixed all these colors. But I did not want, I don't really want cells, and I'm wondering if I should add anything to it. I think not. I think I'm just going to go with straight out color. You kind of don't know sometimes which way to go, and I was thinking about just using my card because I have a lot of control with my card because I can flip and turn my wrist. There are bubbles. So if they're a little stubborn, you can just pop them with a skewer or toothpick, and that will take care of that. I want to do this kind of quick and splashy, so I'm trying to decide. And I didn't mean to take that much paint with it. But that is okay. That is the element of surprise with fluid paint. So I'm going to add some color back in because I did take more than I planned. I think this time I'm going to just use a smaller one. That is pretty on the tool. So I'm going to find my paper, my little pieces of poster paper that I keep. Oh, that's pretty. Kind of worked, kind of didn't. That's not what I expected either. See, that's the joy of fluid art. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get inside. So I'm going to use my card here and This is not what I wanted it to do. Yeah. Okay, so before I go any further, I'm going to change gears here a little bit. This inspiration piece that I saw inspired me to do my piece, and that's what I'm doing, but my piece is not going to look anything like my inspiration piece, and I'll show you the inspiration piece when I'm done. I'm going to use my Spot On Treadmill lubricant. No. I'm going to use OGX, and I'm going to put one little drop in each color. I'm not doing a pump, I'm doing a drop. There's a difference. Because a pump is too much OGX for these colors. And I'm just going from one color to the next, but as you notice, I'm doing it kind of in a rainbow effect so that the colors don't dirty. I'm not going to put this back over here. So for these, I'll start with the pink. I'll go into the red, and the red can go into the orange, and it won't change the color at all. But if I had stuck like an opposite color like purple or green into this, it would change the color. So I think what I'm going to do is put white in the bottom here, and then just pour each color. But I'm going to put a little white between each color. And I'm leaving a little bit of paint in my cups too, just in case. But I only have maybe 1.5 ounces of paint that I even mixed together in each cup, because you don't need a lot of this Arteza. It really goes a long way. All right. So, what do I do with it? What do I do? Now the beautiful thing about OGX is allowing it to sit for a minute and do its thing. Okay, so I've let it sit here for probably at least 10 minutes. And before I tilt, this area right here is already dry on the canvas because this light base coat will dry very quickly. So I'm just adding some extra black paint here. Just to make sure it's here, because if I tilt it and there's no wet paint, it's not going to move. I was going to put that in the cup, but it's probably got black in it underneath, so I'm not going to put it in the cup. So I kind of like that it's just kind of central, the central part of the canvas. I'm still not crazy about this that I had swiped. So what I'm going to do is just take it there. Just spread my black back. Okay, so I like the rainbow colored effect. This pink is a little bothersome to me. So I'm going to see if I can do something. Once again, I'm scraping off. And this, I'm like, yeah, don't know. I'll address that in a minute. I like this a lot. This part, I'm going to see. Actually, I'll use my skewer. Where did I put my skewer? I didn't know the rainbow of colors would come out that way, but that's a good thing. So for here, I'm going to cover some of this with black. There's my other skewer. It was under the painting. So I'm just dragging it back in. That gets rid of some of that there. And since this is thin, it's not going to go anywhere, so I'm just going to kind of try to intermingle it a little bit. And then with a palette knife, anything with a hard edge, you've got to be super careful how you swipe it, or it will take it down to the black. That's why I like the pool trowel or something like this, where you can almost be parallel, because with this you have a very small surface and you have to stay really parallel in order to not take the paint down to the very bottom. So I'm going to try this one more time. This time I want a hint of purple. Okay, I think I'm done. Okay, so I really actually like it a lot. It is bizarre. It almost looks like a temple, like an Asian temple or something like that. A cross between a dragon and an Asian temple. And when I show you my inspiration piece that I loved of another artist, you're going to look at my piece and you're going to say, well, Sandra, you just did not achieve that look at all. And I'm going to say you're exactly right. But I guess that was not my spirit's intention. So here is the piece that I love, and I will try to do this look again. It is just splashes of color, and you know, this has nothing, it has no look like this at all. But I will keep it for another day for inspiration to try to do it again. And like I said, this is extremely different from what I expected, what I envisioned. As you could see, my inspiration piece was nothing like what I've ended up painting, and which is sometimes humorous because you just have to laugh with God, because just like life, things never go sometimes as we expect it to. Like right now, I'm going through some really, really tough, trying times. I have an older son who has struggled with addiction, and I don't think he's addicted now, but he doesn't live in a city near me. And we have a very volatile relationship, and I have given and given and given and given to him through the years of myself and financially, to the point that I've been broke, and I can't afford to do that anymore. And he just lost his job. He does not have a car because it got repossessed. And as a mother, I want to control the situation, and I know that I cannot, because that ultimately is not what he needs. And I can relate that same scenario to wanting to control my life, and I absolutely cannot, because ultimately God is in control. And I have to just allow life to be. And there's not anything I can do for my son right now. He's just got to work through his own issues, which makes me very sad. But if it weren't for my faith in God and the huge amount of support I get from my husband and my family members and people out in the community through Facebook and YouTube that are my friends, I just get a tremendous amount of encouragement and support, and that's what keeps me going every day. That's why I do art. This is therapy for me. I have to do it in order to keep sane. And I want to be able to reach people in some form or fashion through my heart, sincerely. This is not just for kicks and giggles. This is my outreach to you. And I hope you really enjoyed it. And this may not be your style or thing, or you may not be a Christian and you may not believe in Christian values. And that's okay. I'm not going to condemn you or judge you. I'm just telling you about me and how I feel and what I think and believe. And I am just grateful that you are following my journey. And I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you watching me and following my journey. And I will be here for the next day of my 30-day art challenge. Thank you so much. So I've brought you down to my level, and there's a lot of reflection from the lights. I've turned off several of them. But this is a close-up of this piece. There's just some really beautiful areas of it. I put that contrast through the pink because the pink was just too much, and so the complement of red is green, so that's why I brought in these colors. And I kind of work with complementary colors throughout the piece. If there is a color that needs something complementary, I kind of butt that color up to the other color. So like through here, the blue tones, I wanted some orangey red tones, and the green here, contrasting. That's why I chose that to go up in that corner. That's why here there was too much blue-green, so I added the orange and red tones to contrast it, same as up here. So I often use contrasting colors, even with a rainbow of colors, you know, that is used throughout the piece. But I'm zoomed all the way out, so there you can see the wet piece, and obviously at the end of the video, like I always do, I will post the dried piece so you can see how everything dried, the cells and everything. And a lot of this stuff that you see, there's some bubbles there. This will all level out. The black will level out and everything. So you won't see all those lumps and bumps. And then when you put a glossy varnish on, after it's dried, it brings all that vibrancy of the color back to life as if it were wet again. That's the beauty of varnishing a canvas, especially with the black background, because when black dries, it's very flat. And I don't use Mars Black because it's not dark enough. So that's why I like the Artist Loft Black, because it is very dark, and when you put gloss over it, it becomes like pitch black like that. And so black needs a varnish coat to make it black again, and so do those vibrant colors against the black. So I think this is really gorgeous. I love it, and I hope you did. Thanks.